All right, I see something's happening.
Oh, the Cyclops is back.
The Cyclops. We've been working on this section of the boat for
3 days.
3 weeks. But since I was here last, you guys were still working on this bulkhead in this area. You've been at this part of the boat for almost a month.
Constructurally done. Is that a word? Constructurally?
We'll take it.
It's a word now. Not that. You just kind of put way too much on, or so you think. And a few minutes later, it soaks in nicely. Clamps are something that you just can't live without in this business. And you have clamps of every description.
All right, I see something's happening.
Oh, the Cyclops is back.
The Cyclops.
How's it going?
Oh, jeez.
You too, huh?
You're not feeling good?
Oh, I feel great.
Okay.
They're little sticks.
Oh.
Make me crazy.
Make you crazy, yeah.
This is the infamous countertop.
Jeez.
These are all the edge banding
Yeah.
and the hatches, which we cut out of the opening over there. This is the little cabinet.
This is the one in the back?
Yeah. We added these pieces
Yeah.
to get it to fill the area.
Right, right.
On the back here, we had to relieve this. This is extremely warped.
Right.
So we put some saw kerfs in it, over clamped it, and filled
Pulled
this
it
with
back.
epoxy. So it's nice and flat. Good.
Oh, because that was the old piece?
Huh?
That was the old piece?
Yeah.
What made you want to save that instead of saving it?
Because you said
instead
to
of-
save it.
Well, when did that stop us before?
Yeah.
Well, here we are, almost 3 weeks later, and we're still right here. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Doug, hopefully Doug will explain to us why we've been here for 3 weeks.
No,
So here we are, it's May, end of May. We've been working on this section of the boat for
3 days.
3 weeks. But since I was here last, you guys were still working on this bulkhead in this area. You've been at this part of the boat for almost a month.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Well, no, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like the Formica shelves and all the stuff we made that,
Yes, so let's
Hey,
go through it all
it's-
because people at home are dying to know.
well, no. Well, this is the countertop, which incorporates the refrigerator and a couple of smallish storage areas. We decided to put these in because there's a lot of dead space in there. It's useful space. And what we're doing now is called edge banding. And it's merely dressing up these openings so you don't see the naked plywood, and also seals the plywood because you glue them in. Various little pieces. This is scrap from Susanna.
Okay, and it'll be varnished to match the rest of the wood?
Yep. We were just remarking this morning how much of this, we've burned through almost all the scrap from the planking on the interior,
Yeah.
making little pieces and so forth. But anyway, this is a real tight fit. No use putting it back in, but and this will get all clamped up and glued today. And that's why we number them. Now, of course, when you edge band, you always have these sticking up about a 32nd because you never get it perfect. And that way the next day you can take a real fine shaving with a block plane and shave it down and flush to the Formica.
What's that for? To put the fridge in?
Yeah, when we actually install this, we'll make a permanent strap
Okay.
that goes on the back handle. You'll see why in a minute.
So this is the secondary
You know,
fridge.
some blue tape right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I could have.
Oh. I mean, you couldn't have been off an eighth of an inch.
Well, we could have gotten the small one.
Well, you could, yeah, but then you,
You know what?
Well, this one's pretty small as it is. I think you'll be happy with this one. And when we install it,
It's not really that big, you're right.
you know what?
No,
Hey,
it's useful.
I think its job will be more of a freezer, probably in the long run. And Dave's been alerted as to where we want the AC and the DC
Right.
for the cords on the fridge. Okay, you ready? Taking it out is easy. Putting it in is, you don't have any leverage in the back. And of course, that's where all the weight is, hence the strap. And we're gonna glue these blocks in so we can put a little fascia piece in tomorrow or whenever we get a chance. And then when we're happy with the lids, and we'll get those same kind of latches, those lift outs. What's the matter?
No, I'm just thinking how much time.
Oh yeah,
How much time?
it's killer. It's
Killer.
it's one of those things. I mean, and you're working around old stuff, trying to make a fridge that was never designed
Well,
until
no,
30
and
years
that's
after
it.
this boat was built. You know, I mean, it's stuff.
Might have been easy, yeah, just to throw that whole fridge idea away.
Well,
But now it's in.
you know what? We still had to do something here. We still had to rebuild this area because it was falling apart. So there's a benefit, but it was a long time. So anyway,
But now it needs to all come out.
Yeah. Sealed, primed, and painted. Today's Tuesday. This is
By June, by the end of the month.
this is.
I'm not going to be back until after June because my daughter.
Did you say by June?
Yeah, I mean, another couple of weeks.
Oh, this better be in by the end of June.
Well, I'm just.
See, because then
When the last one we were here, it was going to be in last week.
was it?
Oh yeah, you were gonna.
Was it?
Yeah, that was what you said. Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. We'll be done by Monday. That was 2 Mondays ago.
Did I say that?
Yes.
When you say done,
But
okay.
even, I'm just saying, it's just.
If
like-
you're building a house, it's blow and go. You nail the studs in, you throw the drywall up, you're out. On a boat, you can't
I'm
do
waiting
that.
months on my house on my
Well, I get it.
office to be rebuilt. I can't even get out of
There you go.
the park.
So, you know, we can't just throw this together, Charlie.
No, I know.
Okay, Clint, here she comes. Now we're gonna make a few notations, whoops, and then we're gonna start taking it all apart so we can seal it. This is
So
two.
this all now comes apart still.
This has to be glued today. All these shims we put in.
Okay.
The supports. All of this is a little bit more drilling for lining up stuff.
So what do
And-
we got going here? What are these for? Just to
Support the countertop.
Support the countertop. Gotcha.
Yeah, and to strengthen this back up.
Sure. There was really no support on that at all, was there?
No, I actually put my knee on that. Started heading that way one day, and I went, wait a minute. That isn't very strong. But now, see, this is all numbered.
And I can see how uneven things are.
Oh yeah, if you see this here,
Yeah.
it's not only way out of square, but it was warped. And we ended up, it was stuck out here. We ended up cutting that off.
Okay.
We had to cut this cabinet back about 3 inches to get this all to work, and so forth.
So this is all now not permanent, but when it is permanent, this will be solid. This.
Oh yeah, I mean
It's all it wasn't solid at all
no.
before.
Well, you remember this, please? How it was.
It's falling apart.
We can actually walk on that now. So,
All right. Well, there's no more place that you can push your ice pick through. It's all solid.
remember that right here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do a Sharpie here. So,
All right. This should be the last time we actually see all this framework, because the next time we come up, it'll be all permanently in.
painted white.
This was a big part of the saloon. I mean, like pretty much everything.
Yeah.
All right. So what's left after that?
Okay, we got this Formica in. We're gonna reuse the old rail here and over here.
Right.
We got this glued back together, and the supports that were falling apart
Yep.
refastened. This shelf had a big hump in it. Clint got that out.
Yeah.
We redesigned all of this, we already talked
Yeah,
about.
we talked about that.
So what's left over here is all of this you just saw, which is basically constructurally done. Is that a word? Constructurally?
We'll take it.
It's a word now. It has to come apart to be sealed, primed, painted, and then screwed and glued back together. Over here we have the ceiling planks will go in. So we'll start making the patterns for those tomorrow probably. And then we have the bunk supports here, which many of them are rotten or broken or delaminated. So we got to rebuild these two bunk tops. And at about that time, we want Dave to come back because the holding tank's going here. And we're gonna have to make clearance for that.
Okay.
Somewhere in that area, we're gonna be pretty much done with the saloon. Gonna put those doors on, they're all ready to go. There.
These doors are ready to go.
That's the liquor locker. And in here, we have the head. And I understand we're getting a new unit. So all of that will be going in next. We got some painting to do back in there. We were holding off on it because David has to tell us what he wants to do with the plumbing.
Latches for the countertop. So I'd like to use the same ones that we have here. These.
Well, see, these aren't. See, these aren't actual latches.
No, they're just.
Those are lift outs.
Yeah. Well, they don't need to be latched, right?
No, it's just that you have to remember that when you're
Bouncing around.
going along motoring, will they vibrate? I don't know. We want to probably put at least a latch on the fridge one
Well, yeah.
because of its size. That's all.
Yeah.
These are so small that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These don't have latches. They just sit there.
Well, they used to rattle around. See,
Yeah.
they're not going to do that anymore because we're going to put
Well, I'm
latches.
sure these won't either.
Well, we're going to put latches on these. Remember that rail we made back here?
Yeah.
So they'll slip under this little rail, and they were warped up like from a half to 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
So when you go to put them in the future, you'll slip them under the rail, push down on them, and slide a little bolt in to hold them down. Keep them vibrating and engine noise.
We
Okay?
definitely don't want these popping up. So they definitely have to sit down flat.
Well, yeah, because the little ones they're nothing. It's the bigger one, and don't forget it hits the. We're going to put a couple of small those little felt pads on the fridge lid. So when you want to close this, you have to go push down just a little bit, like a 1/16 of an inch, and that'll finish the closing process of that refrigerator. It's going to take a while to spread it all, so you got to turn it and let the glue soak in. So you're not just gluing sticks on, you're actually sealing the countertop, the plywood, from water later.
Okay.
So it soaks in quite a way in the end grain of the plywood. And you just keep going over it till you can see that it's not soaking in anymore.
How long does it take to dry this stuff?
You got about, in a day like today, a couple hours of working time.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then it cures in the dark. It cures up about 5 or 6 hours, but it really cures overnight. We have a term for that. We just say it cures in the dark. Don't try to rush it. Clamp it up, go home, and let it. Now they make a fast cure hardener, and we've used it a few times. Like if you want to glue something, and then later in the day, not stress it, but move it, or take the clamps off. You can do that too, but that's really rare. That's 2% of the time.
Now, you're going to put this at the ends here, at these ends here?
Oh no, those get actual penetrating epoxy.
Just,
When we do the bottoms and all the ends and the edge banding, they all get sealed with Smiths because it's water thin and it soaks way in. This, we're using the gluing epoxy as a sealer as well. Like that, you just kind of put way too much on, or so you think, and a few minutes later it soaks in nicely. Then,
and if it gets on the Formica, it comes right off the Formica?
yeah, the razor blade. Because Formica is not only smooth, but it has a tiny bit of, I suspect, mold release in it. So the epoxy doesn't really stick to it that good. Okay. this way. You know, I don't know what these are, but I love making them. I just don't know what they are. Clamps are something that you just can't live without in this business. And you have clamps of every description. You know, as you can see, sometimes you use a clamp on a clamp to get the job done. Forget how many surface areas there are until you start spreading glue. This is so far, this has taken 2 full pumps. Might take 3. Just to wet this out. And then the solid pieces, the edge banding itself, it gets epoxy and fibers. It's happening, folks.
It's happening, folks. We're waiting all day for this.
I've been looking forward to this for a month. Just the little things.
It's a day in TV time.
It's the little things.
It's a lot of little things, that's for sure.
Those silly little pleasures in life. Like, okay, what'd you do today? Well, I glued a bunch of sticks on.
Unfortunately, that is your whole life. Today, I glued in some more wood.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is where this one goes. By the way, when you're cutting these, there's a secret to all you beginners.
Yeah.
Always cut the long ones first.
Or place them, put them in first, or?
Well, no, when you're cutting them to fit them.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, that way if you cut it too short, you got a short one.
Oh.
Makes you look like a genius.
Right, exactly.
No, it sounds like a sick joke, but like when you're building a brand new boat, you know, there's a reason floor timbers get the frames on the front side going forward and the back side going aft. You literally put the biggest floor timber in first because they're hard to fit. And if you screw it up, you can move it one frame forward and fit it. Because the odds are it's going to happen to you.